Hi, this is Lady Lex UK, and today we're going to have another look at that bubble weapon that I made last week. I had a few problems with it, so let's just recap on the bubble weapon as it was. So I have my bubble weapon, and it hits a goblin and rises him up into the air and then bursts, and then he falls down. But occasionally, when you throw your bubble, instead of making the goblin rise up, the goblin disappears, and so does the bubble, and you end up with no goblins at all. Okay, so you can see it is destroying my my goblins, which is not what I wanted, even though that makes it quite an effective weapon if that's what you want. So there is the original, and I asked you Sparkers out there, could you help me with the code? Why was it doing that, and what can we do to fix it? And I got 3 possible solutions back from various people and various methods, and to my surprise they all worked. So I'm going to show you 3 different methods of fixing this bubble weapon, and we'll start off with Luck XD. Now Luck XD suggested that the reason that it was happening is it was bumping the terrain, and because it's a projectile, it's acting like a projectile, it's destroying that bubble, but only after it attached itself to that goblin. So this time, so if it bumps the terrain, we'll detach any attachments and destroy that bubble before it does any more problems. So let's change my character so that it's going to use this logic cube now. Okay, then let's see if this fixes the problem. So this is the simplest fix. My goblin rises up into the air. And so far, no issues. My goblins are being stuck to the bubbles. I've still got them all, I think. I'm not losing them, am I? No. So that seems to have fixed it. I've still got all my goblins. Everything works. And that bump terrain tile, it's a very simple little fix, and that seemed to work. So there we go. Brilliant. Fantastic. Right, the next one was from Stephen Bender. He suggested that the problem was the bubble was being destroyed and taking the goblin with it, and so maybe you shouldn't attach the goblin at all. So what I've done in this brain is I'm going to add a logic cube brain. I'm going to add a brain to the goblin, so that the bubble's going to rise up, and the goblin is all of its code is in here. So all the physics type, the fact that it's captured, is in this brain, and all the code for the targeting position is the same as the bubble. So the bubble's going to rise, and the targeted goblin is going to rise, and that added brain is just going to change its character type, etc., etc. So let's try that and see if that works. Because I didn't want to add anything. So then he's rising up. There we go. There's his pace and everything. Set exactly the same as before. Oh, he's walking on their heads. That's okay. There we go. So that uses a fall mechanism. So he rises up, and that solved the problem too. So I haven't attached the goblin to the bubble. He's just rising up with the same code that the bubble uses, and I still can use the pace. Right. Then Scotty the dog came up with a solution, which was why don't you put the rising code in the goblin? not have it in the bubble. So when the bubble hits it, the bubble's destroyed and you have the code in the goblin. Well, I don't want to put codes in these goblins because I want it to be in the weapon. So we're going to add a brain like we did with the other one. So in this one, this is the bubble brain, and this is very simple. So when it bumps an enemy, it makes that the target, and then it destroys itself and adds a logic cube brain to the goblin. And in the goblin brain, we'll say you're now captured. We'll set the physics type to fix, and we're going to do an emote because you can no longer do pace equals 0, because if I do pace equals 0, the special effect of the protection sphere doesn't play. So I can't change the pace, but I've chosen this alert emote instead. So when he's inside the bubble, he's going to do that, and we're just going to rise it up. And we're going to set the start position. Actually, we don't need that anymore, do we? No. So we're just going to rise it up, same as we did with the bubble. And then until you bump the terrain, we're going to reduce that Y position to get him down. And it's much faster than the one we've used to rise it up, so he looks like he's falling. And then when they bump the terrain, we're going to change his physics type back to character and remove the brain. So this is actually possibly a better solution altogether. Let me change his brain so that it does it. Here we go. Here we go. And there we go. It's a nice smooth rise up into the air in the balloon. Whee! And I think that actually works slightly better than the others. I like it. Whee! It also it's very good at separating up your goblins from each other. It's a distraction weapon. It's not a killing weapon now. So that's pretty good. Also, you could put damage in that to make that a proper weapon, so they get damage every time they go up in a balloon, in a bubble rather. Oh, they're all too close. Poof. There we go. And you also don't have to worry about the longevity of that bubble now, because the bubble is created on the goblin. There we go. Woo! I think that's pretty cool. So there you go. There was 3 solutions, and they all worked. And yeah, thank you very much, Sparkers. We now have a working bubble weapon, and you can choose whichever method you would like to use. Thanks for watching, and keep sparking.